Listen, if you're using webinar marketing, you have probably noticed that your webinars aren't exactly converting how they used to. And that's no surprise with new competition and so many different marketing messages popping up every single day. Today, I'm going to give you the inside scoop on my new webinar marketing strategy that has helped me to triple my conversions so that you can mirror what I'm doing and use it in your own business. So make sure you stay tuned.
There's no stopping me now. I know my shot should sit down. Money's all over me. I'm called to be rich and be free.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am Ebony Evaughn, your go-to business operations strategist, here to help you grow your business through people and processes. And today's video, I am back with another webinar marketing video for you. You guys know I love a good webinar. And today I'm giving you a behind the scenes look at a brand new webinar marketing strategy that I have implemented in my own business. So before I get into what this new strategy is, I want to kind of start with the problem and why I came up with this new method in the first place. So if you have been using webinars in your business, I have been using webinars, I think, since maybe 2016, 2017. I really started leaning heavy into webinar marketing around 2018, I believe. And it kind of became one of my main marketing channels as far as generating new leads. And over time, I have noticed that webinars don't necessarily convert like they used to. And it's funny because oftentimes when I'm on social media, I'll see memes with people saying, anyone else's toxic trait signing up for free webinars or masterclasses, knowing dang well you know you're not going to attend. And so when I actually started looking at my own webinar analytics, I could see that numbers start to dwindle over time, right? Even when I look at my numbers and I can see that people were showing up to the webinar, even staying to the end, actually staying through the sales pitch, clicking on the link, going to the sales page, and then also clicking and opening my follow-up emails for my post-webinar sequence, they weren't necessarily converting like they used to. And so I was sitting there looking at my analytics and I'm like, okay, I have all these people who are clearly interested. They stay throughout the whole webinar. They open my emails. They're clicking on the link and going to the sales page, but they're just not taking that final step to actually enroll in the program. So I thought about a concept from college that I was like, maybe I can merge this into my webinar process and this will help me close more sales. So basically, I ended up creating like a sorority style interest webinars. Now, for those of you who don't know what I mean, let me explain. I obviously went to college. Your girl has many degrees. I have 5 degrees, okay? I do have an MBA as well as master's in human resources, but that's not the point of this video. But I did pledge a sorority, and I'm not going to say what sorority because everything that I do on this channel is free and independent. If I ever get canceled, I don't need y'all writing headquarters talking about snatch her membership, okay? So everything I do on this channel is free and clear. I represent myself and no organization that I am affiliated with. But in college, I pledged a sorority. And of course, whenever you get ready to pledge a sorority or fraternity, sometimes even other organizations, they have what you call an informational session or an interest meeting. This is basically an opportunity for the organization to learn more about you and also a chance for you to learn more about that sorority, fraternity, or whatever the organization may be. So you'll go into this interest meeting. You get to learn about the organization's mission and value, the type of service that they go out in the community and do, different projects they have going on. They'll probably talk about the requirements for membership, who's a good fit, who's not a good fit, etc. Right? So I basically took this concept of an interest meeting for joining a sorority or a fraternity, and I created a informational style webinar for people who had already shown interest in my initial offer. So I offer a trainer program called Coach Correct, which is for online coaches and digital course creators. And it teaches them just about instructional design and how to create better curriculum, right? So in order to actually generate leads and get students into my the trainer program, what I do is I have a free webinar that I offer that's like 3 game-changing coaching tweaks that you can make to catapult your program success and skyrocket your revenue as far as your impact for your clients, right? And so I noticed that a lot of people show up for the webinar. Of course, you have more people that register than actually show up. But then of the people that did show up, they actually stayed through the sales pitch. They opened the emails and they clicked links in the email to go through to the sales page, but they weren't taking that final step to actually enroll. So what I did was I was like, these people are clearly interested. They're opening the emails, they're clicking the links. So let me introduce like an interest meeting so I could get these people over the hump. So what I did was, for those people who show interest that have not joined Coach Correct yet, I started sending them an invitation to my informational for Coach Correct. So with the informational, it is essentially a webinar, but I structure it in more of a sorority interest style meeting. So for example, just like in an interest meeting, when you want to join a sorority or fraternity, you go, you learn about the mission, they talk about how to join or whatever. That is exactly what I do on this informational webinar. So it is literally about 15 minutes long. I give people an invitation to come join, check out the program, learn more about what Coach Correct is about. Once they're on the informational, I start out talking about just like the mission and values of the company, why I created Coach Correct. I talk about a walkthrough of what happens inside of the trainer program. I give them instructions on how to join. I talk about who it's for, and then I get into the benefits. So another way to actually think of this is it's kind of almost a revamped, more condensed, concise version of the sales pitch that I do at the end of the regular webinar anyways, but I just squeeze it into a more personalized, intimate, like 10 to 15 minute informational session. And so I realized that once I started adding this extra invitation at the end to people who were interested, and then my conversion rate started to skyrocket again. So just to kind of summarize this in a big picture workflow, I still send people the invitation to my original full 1 hour webinar, 3 game-changing tweaks that you can make to your coaching program, right? Of the people who actually attend that webinar, they show up live, they stay to the sales pitch, they open the follow-up emails, they click on the link and show that they're interested. Then I send a special invitation to only those people, and then I invite them to this interest meeting or this informational session, which is another on-demand, just 15-minute webinar where it's more intimate. It's really focused on, okay, I know that you're interested in this, so let me give you more details so that you feel comfortable in taking the next step to actually join the program. And when I made the shift to my webinar marketing strategy for Coach Correct, instantly I noticed that my conversion rate tripled. And it's interesting to me because I really wasn't expecting anything to happen. I was like, let me just try this out and see if this works. If you have been around here for a while, you know that your girl does not hesitate to like just experiment when it comes to marketing strategies or different business strategies and things like that. I am not someone who believes in just doing what other people do or what people tell you you should do. Like, you have to know your audience and then know your own capabilities and experience, and then be willing to just take risks and experiment and try things out. So At first I was like, people probably are going to see this and be like, this is kind of like a sales call, or like this is just another sales pitch, and they weren't going to actually sign up for the informational. But I was actually surprised to see so many people actually take the invitation and attend the informational, and not only attend the informational, but actually go ahead and get over that hump and enroll into Coach Correct. So as of right now, what I'm doing is I'm getting ready to implement this same webinar marketing strategy. I've only tried it on Coach Correct at this point, but I'm getting ready to implement this with my CEO days, which is essentially like a VIP day. But I'm going to introduce this concept to see if it works as well. So this process will be a little bit different in the sense that for Coach Correct, it goes from the main 1 hour long webinar. If they show interest but haven't joined, then we send them to the informational. With my CEO days, I plan to use it a little bit differently because I have an application process, and then I send people to a portfolio, which next month I'm going to be doing videos all about client relationships and how I automate my client onboarding as well as my entire application process. So make sure you subscribe if you're interested in that. But for my CEO day, I send people to an application, and then based on that, people are funneled either to like a discovery call or directly to the sales page. So if people click through to the sales page, but they don't actually sign up for a CEO day, then I'm going to be inviting them to an informational, and then I'll let you guys know if this process works the same for CEO days coming from an application as it does is going from like a webinar to then the interest meeting or informational. So I wanted to share this with you guys so that you can test this out. Maybe you have another strategy that you want to try as well. Before I wrap up, I want to just talk about a couple of the things that I learned from doing this marketing webinar strategy experiment. And first things first is we are in a space where people aren't just buying things from entrepreneurs like they used to in like 2013, 2014, even maybe 2015, 2018. And that is because of a couple of different factors. Number one, the economy is a lot different. How people are spending their money is a lot different. But also the online coaching industry is a lot different as well. There's more competition. You have a lot more scams. So with that, plus the state of the economy, people are being more selective about how they spend their money and who they spend their money with. So with this strategy of having this interest meeting, one of the reasons I think it has done so well is because number one, it's a pattern disruption, right? So typically, people are used to the standard flow of webinars. You have this event, you register, get a confirmation. There's a live event, you get a replay, and you get an email afterwards. They give you a sales pitch, and then if you don't pitch, then you just kind of go off into the green grass, right? But I think the fact that people are expecting me to just continue to give them sales pitches, and I introduce this new invitation for the actual informational, it's a pattern disruption that catches people attention. But also with me having this added informational session, it's more intimate, it's more personalized, and I think it gives people kind of confirmation or like reassurance that this is what this program is about, this is who it's for. And so you're steady nurturing and building a relationship, and I think that makes people more comfortable with saying, yes, I do want to enroll in this, and this isn't just like every other program that's out there, right? So those are kind of the main reasons why I think this informational style webinar is actually converting so well, because it is a pattern disruption and because it does help to nurture and build your relationship. You guys know me, I am all about using my serve, suggest, sell method, where you're not always just treating people like transactions, but you're actually letting them know that like, I have a solution for your problem and I am here to support you, and like your transformation matters to me. But that is just my thoughts. Let me know what you think about this sorority style informational session, and let me know if you plan to test this out for your own webinars. If you have any challenges or struggles when it comes to webinar marketing, feel free to drop your questions down below in the comments of this video. I do my best to try to respond to them. Again, I've done a ton of webinar marketing videos. I'll have a playlist for you in the description of this video if you want to check those out. But if I can, I will respond to your question, or I may end up making a separate video about it. All right. If you are brand new to webinar marketing and you're looking for an amazing webinar marketing software that you can use to host your webinars, your virtual events, or masterclasses, then I will have a special link for you down in the description as well as pinned comment, where you can get a $1 30-day trial of Webinar Jam, where you can host your very first webinar on them for just $1. Okay, Webinar Jam is my absolutely favorite preferred webinar marketing platform. I do have a tier ranking video I will have up in the pinned comments for you, where I tier rank every single webinar software that I have personally tried, and then you can see how they measure up against each other. But again, if you want to try Webinar Jam out, there will be a $1 30-day trial available for you in the comments below this video. Thank you guys so much for stopping by my internet home. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on those notifications so anytime I post another marketing experiment video like this, you will be the first one to get notified. Bye, y'all.